Hello and welcome to Middle Eastern Thursday. So today I am so excited. I can't even because I only have 6 fragrances for you today. But when I am telling you that these are the fragrances that you want to pick up right now before they go viral, because if they've already gone viral, you're going to have a hard time finding them because they are absolutely exceptional. So if you clicked on the thumbnail, you know that I have the latest 3 launches from Swiss Arabian. Yes, we have the Taif fragrance, we have the new Shaghaf, and we also have Vanilla 01. And I can't wait to talk to you about them. But then from Paris Corner, we have 2 new fragrances that I don't even know when they launched them. They launched them in a little bit of like a secret mode because I didn't hear about them until I was notified that they were being sent in PR. And I shared with you that that they were coming during a Saturday morning chatty scent corner, and they have now been here, and I have so much to say. They are both honey based. You know how I am, how finicky I am about a honey based scent, because I don't think that honey is a note that you can get right easily. So I had been looking to try these fragrances, and I have so much to say. So much to say. And then last but not least, I want to touch upon a fragrance that I already shared with you and gave you a detailed review here on the channel. And I just needed to circle back and talk a little bit more about that fragrance because it is absolutely exquisite. And I just think that either it already went viral and I'm just not aware, which is very possible, or it's about to go viral and I'm just letting you know that you need to get to it, because once it is sold out, it will be sold out. As always, I will leave links to everything in the description box and a discount code wherever I have one. But let's go ahead and jump right in because we have quite a bit to chat about. If this is your first time here though, I'm Arahi and I'm your fragrance concierge because I'm totally committed to creating the best fragrance experience for you. I upload videos multiple times a week, and on this channel, we just love to talk about all types of fragrances. So if that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in and like a good plan, then please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave a comment. Let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, and we are going to start with Enigma of Taif. Now, Enigma of Taif is a fragrance that when I received it, it came broken, as you can see, and I just didn't want to wait until they send me a replacement, which I hope that they do. I've already reached out to them, and I am waiting for them to tell me that they're sending me a replacement, because all 3 fragrances came in a case and they are all broken. Like the Vanilla 01, I had to have it repaired, but as I go along, I will show you because you can clearly see. And that's not how I like to keep my fragrances, so I hope that they do replace them all. But anyway, so let's talk about the juice. So of course, this is part of the Cities collection, and this is a fragrance that, when I tell you this scent is glorious. This is a scent though that, in my experience, the fragrances within this collection are all very much unisex. To me, none of them really lean to the feminine or to the masculine side. They really are fragrances that are quite unisex, and this one is no exception. This one has a very marked presence of spicy notes. It opens warm, spicy. It does have a tad of fruitiness coming like from a note of plum. It does have some florals, actually quite a number of them. And at the dry down, you are going to have a very ambery, woody scent that is absolute perfection for the fall and winter seasons. This is a fragrance that you can pull for any occasion, day or night, during the fall, winter, and full-on spring seasons. This is a scent that I would pull during a summer, but not on a very, very smoldering hot kind of summer day. To me, this is definitely an ambery fragrance designed for cooler weather. But at that, and as always, when it comes to Swiss Arabian, at least in my opinion and in my experience, the elegance factor of this scent is undeniable. As far as performance, I've only had the opportunity to use it one time, well, a day and a half, and I can tell you that it does give me a full day wear with a moderate projection, but a strong sillage, which means that Others around you will pick up on this scent definitely, and it will command attention and compliments. Let us know if you've tried Enigma of Taif and what are your thoughts. The next one that I want to share with you, and that I am telling you right now, you need to get your hands on this one, is the latest Shaghaf, right? So we have the entire collection that includes, Oud Tonka and others, the Vanilla Toffee and others that we just absolutely love. But now we have Amber Infusion. And Amber Infusion, so you see my bottle, it has some nicks. That's because it came all damaged in the box, and I try to clean it and put it together as best as possible in preparation for this video. But anyway, let's talk about the juice. So this is, when I tell you, perfection for cool weather. This is truly a beautiful, beautiful amber accord centric scent for sure. This is so different than all of the other fragrances that are a part of this collection. This to me is not gourmand or gourmandish, because a couple of you have already asked me that question via DMs. No, this is a true ambery, no-nonsense scent. For me, the fragrances, all of the fragrances that are a part of this collection have scents that have quite a bit of character and oomph, and this one is no exception. This is amber perfection. There are some fruity notes here. There is definitely a note of leather that you need to know about here. And that note of leather, while not dominant, it is present, and it is definitely present at the dry down. But that leather note has been blended so exquisitely with all of the other notes and accords that at the dry down, it's really not about that note or any other note, but about that exquisitely beautiful, elegant, and sophisticated ambery scent. The leather note is very smooth from 1 to 5, with 1 being the least and 5 being the most. I would say that that leather note is like a level 3. I don't pick up on any oud in this fragrance. There may be oud here. It has not been disclosed, but I'm just not picking up on oud. What I am picking up is on the leather note throughout the olfactory journey and at the dry down. Now, keep in mind that this is a very new fragrance. It has not been sitting in my collection for months, so it still has the opportunity to smooth out that leather note even more, even though right now, to me, it is perfect the way it is. As I said before, I'm not necessarily picking up on oud here, but this is a musk-based fragrance, but the amber quality of the scent takes over. So the musk for me is like a level 2, and at that, not animalic in any kind of way. There is a floral presence, but it's very faint, and at the dry down, I really don't pick up much of it. And there are some fruity notes. If I recall correctly, there's some apricot and maybe some apple, but to me, again, at the dry down, it's a non-factor. But at all that, the blend, the scent, is just incredible. And as to be expected, and according to all of the fragrances from this collection, the performance is beautiful. This is not beast mode yet, and I say yet because in my experience, all of the fragrances in this collection, by the time they sit with me for 2 to 3 months, they become beast mode. This is not beast mode right now, and it's not bordering on beast either, but it is giving me a full day wear with a very strong projection during the first, I would say, hour and a half to 2 hours, and then it becomes, a bit more of a scent bubble for like another hour, and then it is an intimate skin scent that will still allow you to sniff the scent here and there. But all in all, beautiful performance, and I highly recommend it for cool weather. Absolute perfection. Once it has had a chance to sit in my collection for a couple of months, I will circle back and I will rank it against all the others that I do own from this collection. So the next fragrance that I want to share with you is Vanilla 01. And here is the gorgeous bottle. And I apologize that it has all those nicks and tears because this bottle came completely broken. This was completely broken. I'm being very careful to not touch it much because my husband did do me the favor before my filming this video of putting some crazy glue here around and just trying to put it back on there so at least it would look kind of decent for you, because it really bothered me to bring such a beat up bottle to you. And I have to tell you again, I hope that they do send me a replacement, because this was not sent in PR. I paid for all these 3 bottles. And, you know, I did hear from them several days ago saying that they were going to look into it, but I have not been notified of a shipping, and I have not been notified that they're going to send me a new set, and I hope that they do. But let's go ahead and just talk about the juice for now, because while the whole bottle aesthetic, because those things do bother me, because that's not how I keep any of the fragrances in my collection, I will tell you that the scent is absolutely a masterpiece. This is a vanilla that is absolutely incredible. This to me is definitely a vanilla-centric scent, but at that, it is a gourmandish. I'm not going to say that it's a full-on gourmand, because it is not reminding me of a specific dessert or dish, but this is yumminess for real. This is like the ultimate, oh, I hope I don't break it. It's the ultimate yummy scent. Here you are going to find an opening that is very much about the vanilla, but the vanilla has been it's like a hug of a coconut, and at that, the coconut is creamy, and paired with that vanilla sets the tone for what will be an extremely yummy scent. Here you're also going to find a floral presence, but the floral presence at the dry down is definitely there, but it doesn't impact, it doesn't take away from the yumminess of the scent, which I find rather interesting. The fragrance, the scent itself is sweet. It is a bit lactonic, very, very vanillic. Again, that creamy coconut plays a critical role. You're also going to get what you may think is tonka, but no, it's not really tonka. It's the combination of that vanilla with like a very dense and very kind of even maybe smoky kind of caramel that I pick up here. And then at the dry down, then you're really going to pick up on something that you will say, okay, that's definitely tonka, because it is very, very present. But all in all, this has got to be one of the best vanilla fragrances in my entire collection. I can't wait to see what happens after it's been sitting in my collection for a couple of months, because I have a feeling that I am just going to be in vanilla bliss heaven. This is the type of fragrance, much like in Tobacco One. You know how I've always told you with Tobacco One that you want to try that fragrance, even if you're not into tobacco, because it is incredible. It is just something so different, right? Well, I'm telling you, even if you are not a vanilla-centric fragrances lover, this is one that you definitely want to try. Even if you're not a gourmand lover, this is one that you definitely want to try. I cannot speak highly enough of this fragrance. And as in all the other fragrances that I've tried from this collection, which is the Heritage, if I recall correctly, this one performs beautifully. And again, it has not had a chance to sit. It is not beast mode on my skin, but it does give me a full day wear without having to overspray or respray. And it is a fragrance that has a very strong projection that well exceeds the 2-hour mark, and then a moderate sillage. Definitely a compliment getter. The first day that I wore this fragrance, my husband immediately told me that he really, really likes it. And what I find, again, so different about this scent compared to other vanillas is that it is a dense vanilla scent, but it's not cloying. It is a dense scent though, but it's not cloying. It is sweet, very vanillic. It has that creamy coconut that is definitely present. It has some florals that are definitely present. It has that tonka at the dry down, and it has that caramel with a ton of vanilla, because the vanilla is the star. So the next fragrance that I have for you is Butterscotch. And Butterscotch is a fragrance from a brand that I had not heard of. And it's interesting because I see here Adyan. I hope that I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I will write it for you so that you know exactly what I'm speaking about. So this is a brand that I've never tried before. I had not even heard of it, but I have to tell you, I am very, very impressed. I did receive this fragrance in PR, and I've only had the opportunity to use it once, but I have been so impressed. And I so know that once it gets out there, it's going to go viral, that I just needed to come and share it with you. So this is a scent that clearly, this is butterscotch. That is what you're going to get in this scent. There's nothing really else to say. I'm going to talk about the olfactory journey and some of the notes that are key here, but I am telling you, this is butterscotch. The first note, and the note that I could argue is the star of this scent, is the note of butter. It is so clear and real for me from the opening throughout the olfactory journey and at the dry down. Butter is at the center of this fragrance, followed by the note of vanilla. This is a very sweet fragrance, but it is not cloying, at least not to my nose or on my skin, but it is very sweet. It is a true gourmand. I can't tell you that it reminds me of a specific dessert or a specific dish, but the scent is beyond yummy, and it immediately, upon first sniff, sets the tone for letting you know that this is a full-on gourmand. You are going to smell absolutely yummy. You're going to smell like butterscotch, period. And this is a fragrance that also is bordering on beast on my skin. So you have to be really careful because it borders on beast on my skin. If you're not careful, it will be cloying because, again, it is very sweet. That vanilla is very much there. There are different notes, I think like the brown sugar or something, but I am telling you that it is just a very, very sweet butterscotch. Absolutely incredible. And you just have to be careful when you spray it. Just keep that in mind. Let us know if you've heard of this fragrance or if you've tried it and your thoughts. All right, so now we're going to talk about two fragrances that were sent to me. And these are both from Paris Corner, and they both focus on the note of honey. I'm telling you, the note of honey has become very popular. But the good news is that I've tried so many fragrances this year, regardless of the type, whether it be Western niche or designer or affordable Middle Eastern or luxury Middle Eastern. I've shared with you this year so many fragrances that have the note of honey as the star. But it seems to me that we're doing honey better and better and better, because these two that I'm going to talk to you about are no exception. When it comes to these two, there's one that I prefer over the other. I will share that with you when the time comes, but I have to tell you that this is more about what notes are you really into. So the first one is Miel Obscura, and the second one is Miel Vanille. Now, Miel, M-I-E-L, is honey in Spanish, and they do both focus on the note of honey, but in a different kind of way. One of these has a honey note that is a little bit funky, and I'll share that with you in a minute. And the other one has just a very smooth, very realistic honey. They're both realistic, but one has a little bit of a funk, which, by the way, gives the fragrance a bit more depth and character, in my opinion, but it is definitely a little bit funky. Let's go ahead and start with Miel Obscura. So Miel Obscura does focus on the note of honey, but this fragrance, in my opinion, is not for everybody. This does have a tad of a funky touch to it when it comes to the note of honey. And in my opinion, that tad of funkiness is coming from the musk, because this is a musk-based fragrance, and the musk here is to the tune of a 3 to 4, more 3 than 4. But I think that the musk here is a tad animalic, which is what brings that little bit of a little bit of funkiness to that honey note. This is a scent that I really enjoy. It is not a deep love for me, but I really, really do enjoy it. If you want a honey-centric scent that is not, going to just focus on the sweetness of the honey and have all of the notes and accords rally around just the honey, then this is the one for you, because this is a scent with quite a bit of character. I can't stress it enough. Although the honey is the star of this scent, there's also a bit of a floral presence. And if I recall correctly, you're going to have some rose and some violet or iris. But at the dry down, the florals, specifically the violet or iris, I can't remember which one it is, but at the dry down, you are going to get a sweet, honey-centric, woody scent that is musk-based, which is also a tad animalic and a tad powdery. This is not very powdery at the dry down, but it is definitely a powdery dry down. To me, this is exclusively for the fall, winter, and opening of spring season. I would not use this fragrance on a warm spring day whatsoever. And I think it is perfect for just about any occasion, day or night. Not a scent that I personally would wear to a formal event or a formal holiday party or anything like that. But other than that, for just about any other occasion. I think that this is a really nice scent. Right now, it has not had a chance to sit. So it may be that that little bit of a funk that I pick up in a couple of months will subside and will become, a bit smoother. That is a very high possibility. I can't predict what's going to happen, but that is a high possibility here. But I can tell you that it's also performing rather well because it is giving me a 7-hour wear without having to overspray or reapply it throughout the day. And it does have a strong projection during the first, I would say, hour, and then it becomes a scent bubble. And towards like the last 2 hours of the day, it's definitely an intimate skin scent. But all in all, I really, really do think that you should at least try this fragrance if you are into honey fragrances that have quite a bit of character and oomph, because this is definitely one of them. Let us know if you've tried Miel Obscura and your thoughts. The next one that I have for you, of course, is from the 2 honey fragrances that I told you from Paris Corner, and this one is Miel Vanille. And here is the gorgeous bottle. Now, Miel Vanille of the 2 is the one that I prefer the most. So here's the thing about Miel Vanille. Miel Vanille does remind me, but just a little bit in all honesty, of vanilla powder. It really does remind me a little bit. I don't think, honestly, that this was inspired by it, but at first sniff, it did bring that to mind because the thing about this fragrance is that it does incorporate the note of honey as the star, and the second star of this one is the note of coconut. At that, the coconut comes in like flaky and a little bit smoky. I do want to let you know, for those of you that are sensitive, that this one does have ambroxan. So if you are sensitive to ambroxan, this one is not for you. But at all that, this is loaded with vanilla. It has a very realistic and beautifully done note of honey. It is a very sweet scent, not sickly, but it is very sweet. Again, it is a vanillic scent that has a very present note of coconut. The coconut is not creamy. It is like flaky, like roasted. And at that, it is a bit smoky. You're going to find that there is really like no floral presence here. There is a tad of a lactonic quality to this scent, on my skin at least. And I can tell you that for me, this is definitely a gourmand-ish fragrance. It does not remind me of a specific dish or dessert, but it is definitely a gourmand scent. At that, I think that it is perfect for just about any occasion, but during specifically the seasons of fall, winter, and the opening of spring, I cannot imagine using this during a warm day. No warm day, because whether it's super warm or just a little bit warm, to me, this is just not a warm weather type of scent. This is more for cooler weather, and at that, it will be perfection. This is my favorite of the 2. I think that this has been done beautifully, and I can't wait to see where we land as it relates to the scent in several months from now. Right now, it is giving me a full day wear. It does not exceed the 7-hour mark. Sometimes it doesn't even reach the 7 hours, to be honest with you, but I just know that it needs to sit. At all that, it does have a very, very good projection during the first, I would say, hour and a half at the most. And after that, it is a skin scent. I think that not just this one, but the other one, they're both unisex. This one may lean a little bit to the feminine side, just a little bit, but I can clearly see a gent wearing any of these 2 fragrances. So the next fragrance that I want to cover with you, it's not that I'm going to get into the detailed review, because I've already reviewed this fragrance here on the channel in quite a bit of detail. This is a fragrance that was launched by Seed Chronicles here on YouTube, and this one is Proud Mary. Now here is the gorgeous, gorgeous bottle. So I just wanted to let you know that I am loving this scent every day more and more. This is bordering on addictive for me right now. Even though I have so many fragrances in rotation, I find myself going, and picking up the bottle and just spraying it on my hand just to sniff it. There is something very soothing, very calming, while also giving you or infusing you with a very positive kind of energy. There is just something about this scent. This is a fragrance that I just absolutely love it. There is such a collection of fruity notes here, but the fragrance, while having all those fruity notes and a floral presence and some vanilla, it is not floral frou-frou lala kind of, no. This is a scent with quite a bit of personality, and I absolutely love it. And I just wanted to circle back and let you know that if you still have not picked up a bottle, I am telling you, because remember that these are limited quantities. So once it's gone, it's gone. But it is an absolutely beautiful scent. So if you have been following Sea Chronicles for a long time, you may want to, I think you're still in time to pick up a bottle of her first fragrance ever, because this is absolutely incredible. So I just wanted to mention it really quick, because of the fragrances that I know are going to go viral, these 6 are definitely it. And what I'm finding rather interesting is that, you know, they've come in like kind of not necessarily quiet. They've each made their own stir. But I just know that at some point, you know, our community is going to realize that, wow, these are really special. They're different in their own way. They really all are. All the way from the Swiss Arabian ones, like the vanilla is just so incredible. The Shaghaf is just so different than all of the others that you may have in your collection. Proud Mary is just such a standalone, incredibly beautiful scent that will get you through any season of the year for any occasion. And then the Paris Corner Honey scents are just totally different and very, very nicely done. And I can't wait to see where they land again once they have a chance to sit in my collection. So I just wanted to come on here today and share these 6 gems in my opinion. If you've tried any of them, please let us know. As always, thank you so much for hanging with me today, and I will see you all in the next video.